Alright, Shalom, Shalom. It's Brother Atazadak, Hero Israel. I'd like to start off by giving no honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Today we're going to go into Leviticus chapter 5, going into the Hebrew. So Lord willing, you're edified. Giving no honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Let's get right into it. Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1, and it reads, Wa napash kaya or slakia, and the soul because it sins, and adheres to the voice of an oath. Wa napash kaya tha chata'a wa shamaya kwahal alha, right? And he is a witness, or salakia, and he is able to witness, or has seen, or has known, if he does not reveal it, and will bear his iniquity, right? Wa hawa, id, awa, ra'a, salakia, awa, yadai, I'm la'a, yagayad, wa nasha'a, iwana, or salakia, iwanwa, right? Verse 2, or a soul which has touched upon all matter of uncleanliness, or upon a corpse of a beast unclean, or upon a corpse of a beast defiled, right? Awa napash ashar the guy, bakal the bar, tama'a tama, awa ba nabalath, haya hata'a, awa ba nabalath, bahama, tama'a, or upon a corpse of a creeping thing, which is unclean, and it is hidden from him, and he be defiled, and has trespassed, right? Which reads awa ba nabalath sharataza, tama wana ilam ma manawa, wa hawa tama wa asham, right? So let's look at that word sharataza, right? Because there's you have ramash, right, which actually, that's what actually means a creeping thing, right? For example, a cricket, right? Sharataza is a teeming thing. For example, a locust, right? Let's look at that word ramash. It says a reptile, collective reptiles, creeping things, moving things, right? Reptile or any other rapidly moving animal, that which creepeth, creeping, moving thing, right? Then you have sharataza, right, which is Strong's H8318, to swarm, right? You could say teeming or swarming, right? Active mass of minute animals, creeping thing, moving creature. Sharataza, reptiles, winged reptiles, right? So that is a difference, right? So it says, when a person touches any impure thing, be it the carcass of an impure beast, the carcass of the impure cattle, or the carcass of an impure creeping thing, and the fact has escaped notice, and then being impure, that person shall realize his guilt, right? But really it would read, and he will be defiled, and he has trespassed, right? Verse 3, or because he toucheth upon an unclean thing, concerning man, right? To all, according to all uncleanliness, right? Which he has sinned upon it, or slack which he will be defiled upon it, and it is hidden from him, and he will know, and has trespassed, right? As in it was made known unto him, right? Or he later realizes it, right? So it says, Awa kaya yagai ba tamaath adam lakal tamaathwa ashar ya tamaa yatama baha wana ilam ma manawa wa hawa yadai wa asham. Verse 4, or a soul because had sworn rashly upon his lips, whether it be evil or good. Awa napash kaya dashabai la bata'a ba shapathium la harai awa la hatabyab, right? Because that word bata, you compare it to batan, which means stomach. But that word bata means to utter something rashly, right? To swear, right? An oath, right? In haste, that is, right? The word shapath means lips, right? Whether it be evil or good, right? Like the text says, right? For all which he has uttered rashly, right? Concerning man, and upon swearing, or slakia, the man, and in swearing, and it be hidden from him, and he knows, as in either he recalls or it is made known unto him, right? And has trespassed, right? To one of these, right? Which says, Lakal Ashar Yabata Ha Adam Ba Shabaya Wana Ilam Ma Manawa Wa Hawa Yadai Wa Asham La Achath Ma Alha, right? So it says, or when a person utters an oath to a bad or good purpose, whatever a human being may utter in an oath, and though having known about it, the fact has escaped notice, but later that person realizes guilt in any of these matters, right? But it should read, and he has known and has trespassed to one of these, right? As in one of these things, right? So basically it's just saying, right, if a man swears rashly with his lips, whether it be evil or good, to all that, right, which he had done in haste, the man, in swearing, and it is hidden from him, and he knows of it, right, and he has trespassed to one of these things, right? Which goes back to verse 1, right? When you hear an oath, right? And you know of it, right? You've seen it or heard it, and it is not, you don't reveal it, right? Or if it be, right, basically an example, right, you would be in a court matter, right, between the congregation, right? So you actually heard that oath in a testimony in which you could testify against another individual, but you hold your peace, right? And you don't reveal the fact that you witnessed that oath, right? Which would be able to clear a person, an individual. So you're going to bear your iniquity, right? Or because, right, you touch upon any matter of uncleanliness, a corpse, right, of a beast, cattle, any creeping thing, right? And it is hidden, right? As in, it is hidden from the congregation, right? Because you're supposed to let the congregation know if you're unclean, right? And that person be defiled, right? So that is a trespass as well, right? Or because you touch an unclean person, right? A human, right? To which you will be defiled, right? And it is hidden, right? Where it's hidden from that individual, right? So this just goes into, right, hearing an oath. If you're able to testify, right, in any type of situation, you have to reveal it. If you're unclean, you have to reveal it, right? When someone touches another individual that is unclean, you have to reveal it to that person, right? And it says, and because an individual swears rashly upon his lips, evil or good, right, to that which he had sworn rashly, right, the individual, right, in swearing, right, and it is hidden from him, right? So it could be, right, an oath that is out of rashness, right? But, right, that person tries to hide it, right? But it is made known, right, onto him. Look, you swore this. You say you may have said it rashly, but you trespassed, right, to one of these things, right? Verse 5, Wahaya or Salakia. And it will come to pass because he trespasses to one of these, right? And he will confess to which he had sinned upon it. Wahaya kaya ya asham la achath ma alha waha the water ashar hata'a alaya, right? So that word the water does not just mean thank you, right? It goes into the root yada, right, which is really hawad, right, which is just means, right, to give thanks, right, to confess, right, or to praise, right? Verse 6, and he will bring into his trespass unto the Lord, right, upon his sin, right? Waha baya atha ashamwa la Yahweh al chata'athwa, which he has sinned, ashar chata, which will be a female from the flocks, a lamb, nakwaba man ha tazaan kashaba, right? Or a she goat, right? Awa shayarath zayim, right? For a sin offering, la chata'ath, and will atone upon him the priest from his sin. Wa kapar alaya ha kahan ma chata'athwa, right? And so like that is a yeah, all right, Verse 7. And if he does not have, right, to his hand sufficient, wa'aim, la'a, tagayai, yadwa, daya, right? Because it would read literally, and if not, has touched to his hand, right? As in he has no means to have that which is sufficient, right, for that sin offering, right? Because that word daya means sufficient, right? Shah, which means cattle, right? That's just general sense, right? But it is referencing either the lamb, right, the she lamb, or the she goat, right? Because that is a she goat. Salaki, I didn't mention that, right? It says, and he will bring in to his trespass offering, for which he has sinned, which is waha, baya, atha, shamwa, ashar, chata'a, 2 turtle doves, or 2 sons of a dove, right? Shataya, Tharayim, Owa, Shanaya, Benaya, Yawana, right? Unto the Lord, 1 for a sin offering and 1 for a burnt offering, right? La Yahweh, Achad, La Chata'at, Wa Achad, La Ilah. Verse 8. And he will bring in unto it to the priest, and he will bring it near to that which is a sin offering, right? Waha baya atham al ha kahan, waha kwaryab atha ashar la chata'ath, right? To the first, Ra'ashna, right? And will ring off to its head from upon it, right? Wa malak, atha, Ra'ashwa, mawal, right? Because that word malak or malakwa, salakia, meaning to he's gonna snap, right, the head off the bird offering, right, which is a sin offering, right, which is a bird. I think I said that, but just to make it clear, it's a bird, it's a sin offering, which is a burnt offering, right? Or one would be a sin offering and one a burnt offering, right? So that is for the first. He will wring off his head from upon it, right? Its neck, he will not separate. Irapwa, la'a, yabadayal. Because that word irap means neck, right? He will not separate it, right? Because it's wa la'a, meaning and not. Yabadayal, ya meaning he. Badayal, the root is badal, meaning to separate, right? So when you read it, it actually says, and its neck, he will not separate, right? Because you would read it, right? Ya badayal, he, ya, la'a badayal, but it's not written in that manner, right? But that's what it says, right? So he will not, ya la'a badayal, but that is not how you read it. It's just wa la'a ya badayal, right? Verse 9. And he will sprinkle of his blood, which is a sin offering, upon the drain of the altar, right? Or salakia, beside the drain of the altar. wa haza madama ha chata'ath al quayar ha mazabach, right? Because where the altar was, right? That word quayar means to dig, so it's a drain beside the altar, right? You're gonna snap the bird, right? And some of its blood you're gonna pour beside the altar, which is there's a drain there, right? And the remainder of the blood he will drain onto the base of the altar. Waha na sha'ar ba ya mataza al yasad ha mazabach. For a sin offering, that is hata'ath hawa. And to the second he will offer it as a burnt offering according to the ordinance wa atha hashanaya ya aisha ayla ka mashapat, and will turn upon him the priest of his sin which he had sinned, and it will be forgiven unto him. Wa kapar layawa ha kahan ma chata'athwa ashar chata'ah wa nasalach lawa, right? And if he does not have sufficient to his hand, to the 2 turtle doves or the 2 sons of a dove, right? Wa'aim la'a tashayag yadwa la shataya tharayim awa la shanaya banaya yawana, right? Which is that first part would actually read, and if not, he has close to his hand 2 turtle doves, right? Because that word, the root is nashag, right, meaning something that is to bring close, right? But you would read it in the first way I read it as well, right? So it reads, and he will bring in to his oblation which he had sinned, right? Meaning if he does not have sufficient, right, to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons, right? Well, it's not 2 pigeons. That's that word yawana means dove, right? So it says, and he will bring in to his oblation which he has sinned, right? Waha paya atha korbanwa ashar chata, right? 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. Ashayarath ha apah salath la chata'ath. He will not place upon it oil, and will not place upon it incense. La'a yashayim alaya shaman wa la'a yathan alaya labana. The word labana means incense. Shaman means oil. Because a sin offering it is. Kaya chata'ath hawa. And he will bring it to the priest, and will take a handful the priest of it, a fullness of his hands, right? Waha baya al ha kwahan, just like ha kahan, wa wamataza, ha kahan, ma mana, mala, wamatazawa, right? To the memorial offering, and he will offer it as incense upon the altar, right? Atha azakarath waha kwatayar ha mazabacha, right? Upon the fire offerings of the Lord. Sin offering it is. Al Ashia Yahweh Chata'ath Hawa. Right? The word Kwamatazah just means a handful, right? And will atone upon him the priest upon his sin, which he had sinned from one of these, right? Wa kapar elayawa ha kahan al chata'athwa ashar chata'ah ma achath ma alha, and it will be forgiven unto him, right? And it will be for the priest according to what was offered, right? Wa nasalach lawa wa hayatha la kahan ka manacha, right? Slack is, let's just see what this notification is. Make sure I don't miss these this fountain of understanding that's going out, you know. Gotta make sure I keep up with these not just sit downs, you know, like I said 2 videos ago, you know, you have to watch, right? Pray, not just what's going on in the media. You watch as the word goes out, right? And you soak up the understanding, right? You pick through the bones, and you know, you take that in, that which is good for your lab, right? Verse 15. Wayetabar Yahweh al Moshe la Amar, and he spoke the Lord unto Moses to say, a soul, because it goes above the commandments, right? And has sinned in error of the holy things of the Lord, right? Napash kaya ta ma'al wa chata ba shaga ma kodashia Yahweh, right? Because really it will read right, because I'm gonna explain that word ma'al, right? So it would actually read a soul, because surely it goes above, right? As in going above that which was commanded, right? Whether you have trespass and sin, right? Because there's good commandments, right? Then you have things that are forbidden, right? That is going beyond the commandments, right? Which leads to sin, which leads to trespass, error, right? In this case, it's speaking about the offerings of the Lord, right? Because you go beyond, right? And it's just another way to say trespass, right? You don't offer your offering according to the ordinance, right? And you have sinned in error, right? Of the holy things of the Lord. That's talking about the offerings, right? Because there's certain offerings you have to eat within a certain time frame. There's certain offerings that you would offer to the priest. They would keep a certain portion, right? So when that is not done correctly, this is what it's concerning, these type of things, right? So it says, and he will bring into his trespass unto the Lord a ram perfect from the flock, waha baya atha ashamwa la Yahweh ayal tamayim, from the flocks according to your estimation, right? That's talking to the priest, right? Silver of shekels in the shekel of the sanctuary for the trespass, right? For the trespass offering, right? So it says, man ha taza'an ba araka, right? Kasap shequalium ba shequal ha kodash la asham, right? Because, right, that ram would be perfect from the flocks, right? But if you did not want to offer the ram, which is why it says ba araka, according to your estimation. That's talking to the priest. The priest would estimate, would look at the animal. Okay, because this is what Israel did back then. They would offer up, right, the worst of their flocks, right, in order to get around the fact that they had to offer the best of their beasts, right? So this is why it says according to your estimation, because if they wanted to redeem it, right, the priest would have to take a look at it. Okay, this is a good animal. Okay, 10 shekels, right? But if they brought a right, not so good offering, right, the estimation would be higher, right, which would keep the children of Israel from offering, right, imperfect offerings, right, which is why it says kasab shequalium, right. So according to your estimation, it would read ba araka, or slakia, in your estimation. That's talking to the priest, right. Silver of shekels, right. Doesn't say how much. That would be up to the priest and those that is ministering in those days, right, according to the shekel of the sanctuary for the trespass offering, right. Verse 16. And to that which has sinned from the sanctuary, right, as in things offered unto the sanctuary, right. Wa ata ashar chata'a. Salakia, that actually reads to the sin and to that which is a sin offering, right, from the sanctuary, right. Wa ata ashar chata'a man ha-kodash, right. He will pay, right, ya shalom, right, because that word shalom just doesn't mean peace, it means to pay, right, it means whole, complete, right. And to a fifth he will add upon it, and will place into it unto the priest. Wa ata hamayesh shathwa yawasap alayawa wa nathan athawa la kahan, right. And the priest he will atone upon it, upon the ram, which is a trespass offering, and it will be forgiven unto him, right. Wa ha-kahan yakapar elayawa ba ayal ha-asham wa nasalach lawa, right. The person shall make restitution for making regard the sacred things. Right. So if a person added something, right, which was not wholesome, right, or a wholesome offering, right, or if it was, right, even in this case, like it says in verse 15, it was not it wasn't a pure offering, a wholesome offering, right. The priest could still say, okay, look, this offering isn't, right, up to par, right. So they would still offer that beast, right, and they would add a fifth onto that, right. So that would just keep the children of Israel from offering, right, insufficient offerings, right. Verse 17. And if a soul, because he sins, and has done to one of all the commandments of the Lord, wa'aim napash kaya ta chata chata'a wa Ashatha, Achath, Makal, Ma Tazawath, Yahweh, which should not be done, right? And it is not known, and is trespassed, and will bear his iniquity, right? Ashar la'ah ta ashayana, wa la'ah yadai, wa asham, wa nasha'a, iwanwa, right? So basically, that person offers up a beast which is not up to par, right? They're not aware, they're just, uh, they're just not aware, whatever the case may be. But it's still a trespass, right? So they're gonna bear their iniquity, as in they will have to make that restitution mentioned in the previous verse, right? Verse 18. And you will bring in a ram perfect from the flocks, according to your estimation. Wahabaya, Ayal, Tamayim, Man Hataza'an, Ba Iraka, for a trespass offering to the priest, and will atone upon him the priest. La Asham, Al Ha-Kahan, Wa Kapar Layawa, Ha-Kahan, upon his error, which he had erred, and he has not known, right? And will be forgiven unto him, right? And it will be forgiven unto him, right? Wa kapar alayawa, ha kahan, al shagathwa, ashar shagah, wa hawa, la'a yadai, wa nasalach lawa, right? Right, so this is just addressing, even if it's a ram, right? Has to be from the flocks, perfect, according to the estimation of the priest, so the priest can add on to it, right? Right, if it's not sufficient, right, of an offering, it would be according to the priest's estimation, right? He would have to add the fifth onto it, right, which is the fifth of that value of what that beast was estimated. Or if that person wants to redeem it, right, he can pay to redeem it, but it's according to the estimation of the priest, right? But if he just comes with any old offering, right, you would have to add a fifth onto it, right? So this is just touching on various scenarios, right? So either way, right, the offering is going to be made, and according to the priest's estimation, that individual is either going to have to add a fifth onto it, right, and still offer the beast, or if it's a wholesome offering, right, he can choose to redeem it. The priest would say, okay, my estimation is 50 shekels. It's a good offering, right? It doesn't need to be added a fifth onto that, right? 50 shekels, okay? So that person can redeem their cattle, right? Because that may be the only cattle they have, or whatever the case may be, right? They can redeem it, and they can take it back to the pasture, right? Leviticus 5:19. Asham Hawa Salakia. Trespass offering, it is. Surely, it is a trespass offering unto the Lord, right? Asham Hawa, Asham La Yahweh, right? Let's see how many verses we got right here. All right, 6. Wayadabar Yahweh al Mashah la Amar, and he spoke the Lord unto Moses to say, a soul because it sins and goes beyond what was commanded, by the Lord, right? Napash kaya ta kata'a wa ma'ila by Yahweh, and has lied upon his neighbor, right? Wa kahash ba amayathawa, right? But really that would read upon his people, right? So it's just another way to say neighbor, right? Which would be rayaka, ra'aha, raya, or your neighbor, rayaka, right? Ba Paquad 1, right? Upon, right? Give, it would read in given charge unto them, as in they gave them an item, right? They said, hold this, right? So it could be a deposit, it could be, look, hold the scroll, right? I'm gonna give you, right, or just hold the scroll, or here, they use 50 shekels, I'm gonna deposit it, right? Whether it be a concerning a transaction, personal transaction. Look, this is for the plot of field, so and so. Hold on to this. But they lie upon that person. They lie and they say, you know, you didn't give me you didn't give me so and so deposit. You didn't give me so and so scroll, right? So they have lied and they have trespassed, right? Or upon placing, or Salakia, what's that? The Shamath Yad, right? Or anything placed into his hand, right? So again, that's just showing you that it could be anything, right? It could be a beast. It could be, look here, I give you charge of my beast. That's what Pequod means. It means to visit, to give charge over something, right? And as in appointing, right? Which is why it says awa ba ba tha shamath, right? Meaning or in giving to his hand, yad, right? As in giving anything into his hand, right? Awa, or in robbery or an extortion to his neighbor, right? Awa, ba gazal, awa, aishak, atha, aimayathawa, right? So if it's something, right, that was taken, right, and that other individual knew, right, he has robbed his neighbor and lied on him, which is a trespass, right? The word gazal, it means it literally means to strip, right? You could strip an offering, like as in filleting, right? A ram, right? You strip it, you cut it in strips. But here it's in the sense of robbery, right? In other cases, it's talking about young animals, right? Striplings, right? Like they say in the world, right? Gazal, right? It just means to strip in cutting, in robbery, right? Or right, the young of a beast, right? Which is why they call it stripling, because it's literally a piece of that beast. It is a child of that beast, so it is a stripling, right? You cut a piece of that beast, right? And right, let's just say hypothetically, it turns into a smaller beast. That is its stripling of it, like that is its child, right? That word Ishak means extortion, right? Extortion is what? Fraud, scam, right? Whatever the case may be, right? Blackmail, right? To his neighbor, right? Leviticus 5:22. Or it is found that which was lost and has lied upon it, right? Awa ma taza'a abada wa kahash baha, right? and has sworn upon it falsely, upon one of all of these, right? Because what would happen, both of those individuals would present themselves into the assembly, right? And they would cause them to go under an oath, right? Which you read about that in the New Testament, right? I believe that's the high priest Caiaphas said unto Paul, I adjure you by the living God, right, to so and so, right? I'm not going to go to that. You can look that up on your own, right? Because that's how these things were searched out, whether they be so. When it comes to matters of falsehood, false witness, right, or whatever the case may be, right? Which is why it says, Wa nashabai al shakwar al hath makal, right? Basically meaning, and has sworn upon it falsely upon one of all of these. Makal, so it doesn't say makal ha al ha, right? Because it already shows you what the context is, right? So literally it just reads, and has sworn upon it, upon falsely, upon one of all, meaning of the afore mentioned items, right? So it says, which he had done the man to sin upon him, right? Which is Ashar Ya Aisha Ha Adam La Khata'a Bahana, right? Or Salaki, it's upon them, right? Bahana, right? Because it could either be read as Baham, Laham, or Bahan, right? Verse 23. And it will come to pass, because he had sinned and his trespass, and it will return to that which was robbed, which was robbed, or to that which he had extorted, which was extorted, or to that, right, which was entrusted, right? It's just another way to say it. Which he had entrusted unto him, right? Or to that which was lost, which was found, right? As in later found, right? Wahaya, kaya, ya khata'a, wa asham, waha shayab, atha, ha gazalah, ashar gazal, awa, atha, ha ishak, ashar ishak, awa, atha, ha pakwadwan, ashar ha pakwad, athawa, awa, tha ha abada, ashar mataza'a, right? Or of all of these which he has sworn upon it falsely, and he will pay to it in the former amount, and the fifth he will add upon it, right? Awa makal ashar yashabai la yawa la shakwar wa shalam athawa ba ashwa wa hamash tayawa yasap alayawa, right? But literally it would read, or from all which he had sworn upon it for falsehood, right? That word shakwar means falsehood, right? And will pay to it right? As in he's going to pay him the amount of what that amount was, right? Which it says ba ra'ashwa, meaning in the former amount, as in the amount of the cost of the item, and a fifth he will add upon it, right? So the principal amount and the fifth part to it will be added, right? To which that is unto him, right? He will place Salakia. He will give unto him in the day of his trespass, right? La ashar hawa lawa yathanwa, or Salakia yathanawa bayawam ashamathwa, right? Because literally it will read, right, to which he, or Salakia, to which that is was to him, he will place unto him, right? As in he's going to pay the former amount and add a fifth unto it, that which belonged unto him. He will give unto him in the day of which he had trespassed unto him, right? Or Salakia, it just says in the day in which he has trespassed, right? Verse 25. Wa Salakia, and to his trespass he will bring in to the Lord. To his trespass offering he will bring in unto the Lord a ram perfect, right? Wa atha ashamwa yabaya la Yahweh ayal tamayim, from the flocks according to your estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. Man ha taza'an ba iraka la asham al ha kahan. Verse 26. And will atone upon it the priest before the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? Wa kapar la Yahweh ha kahan la panaya Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Hamashiach wa Malak ha tazadak, right? You know, just a little bit salt in that offering right there, you know, just with the salt of the earth, right? Right? Salakia. And it will be forgiven unto him upon one of all of these things, right? Wa nasalach lawa alachath makal, which he will offer for trespass offering upon it, right? Ashar ya aisha la ashama baha, right? So with that is Leviticus chapter 25, going into the Hebrew. It's Brother Yatazadak, Hero Israel. Lord willing, you were edified, and as always, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Kwame Asha'Allah, Ba'ad Shalom.